Hey, so you know how you would find Will Smith in a snowstorm? Just look for Fresh Prince. Yeah.
Oh, God damn it, I hate you.
Yeah. Good one, right? Yeah. I did that shit.
Should I look for Taxi Tire Prince? All right, and welcome to a new episode of Pop Song. This is episode 7.
7.
We've made it to 7. We're almost double digits. I feel like 7's such a good age for a kid. I'm 7.
It was good.
Yeah, I mean, like that's where you start. Like you're like, I'm 7.5, motherfucker. Like you will respect my half.
Damn right.
Yeah, I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jay Alvarez. On the other side of the room, as always,
Raul, what's going on?
And over on the producers table, we got Marcel as always as well. It's been an interesting week. We took a week off from recording, family stuff, all kinds of craziness, scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's only 3 of us, man. This is kind of hard to get together.
Yeah, but we back. We back with it. Just a little side note. We are now available on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Libsyn.
You don't have to watch us on YouTube anymore. Save your phone batteries.
Yeah, exactly. Play us in your car. Play us while you're at work. Just play us.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of support, a lot of good feedback, so we decided to invest a little bit and just get stuff more available and a little easier to listen to for you guys. So thank you.
Thank you guys. Yes, we are official tissue now. So
yes, we're like real boys. And it goes along with being 7.
Yeah. There you go.
It's a good dynamic. So how was your week, man? Anything new?
It was pretty good. This week. My I finally convinced my other sister to move down to Florida. So I'm glad she's here now. We're all.
No one should be miserable alone, huh?
Right. You know what I mean. So it took her 10 years, but she made it.
All right.
So we had some family time yesterday. We all went to the beach. My dad, hardcore Caribbean Jamaican man. He and my son, who's 4. They stayed in that water from the time we got there until the time we left. Like, it was ridiculous. My son was on his back, and he was just riding on like a damn surfboard at one point. I've never been that far out in the waters of Florida in my entire life here, and they were out there. Yeah, and I was like, that was cool. They bonded. We all had our time at the beach. Got blacker again.
Yeah, I was saying,
it happens. That's about it. We came home, cooked with the family, relaxed a little bit, played some games, took some shots of Jamaican rum. Normal family shit.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah, we went to no kids this weekend. So the girl and I went to Tampa. Hung out with my sister for a little while, went to the Improv. So Dan Cummins, go ahead, we'll give a little selfless plug. Dan Cummins, host of Tom Suck podcast. I happen to be wearing this t-shirt, not because I'm that big of a fan. It's just that comfortable of a shirt. He says on the show it's made out of unicorn foreskins. I believe him.
Nice.
This is the most comfortable t-shirt I've ever had. But awesome podcast if you like getting stuck in like black holes on the internet. It's basically him taking an hour and a half, dissecting the subject and bringing it back up. But we went and saw him at the Improv. He was on my other podcast, Twisted 10 and Living Vicariously a few times. So that was really cool. He remembered me, which was nice.
Awesome.
Kind of cool to the girlfriend. Like, that's right, I'm with the talent.
Nice. Get you some points.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was cool. We walked around. It was in Ybor City. Walked around and found the Church of Scientology. It was interesting. That was interesting. That's all I got for that.
That's all we can say.
We saw it had an American flag and a Cuban flag, and we were both like blown. Like, what? Fidel Castro was a big Scientologist? What the hell was? Why is there a Cuban flag at the Scientology building?
Nice.
And it turns out it was a cigar factory, and the Cuban flag was more history. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to get out of town, no kids, and just have adult time and bonding. So that was nice.
That's what's up. It's always needed. Always needed.
Yeah, it always is. And so. Yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and get into our topics for the week. First topic of the day, Bumblebee. There is a Bumblebee movie, not a B movie sequel where Jerry Seinfeld gets his ass kicked. This is an actual Bumblebee Transformer spinoff. Right now on tap to direct it is Travis Knight, who did Kubo and the Two Strings. Also, we found out directed an episode of the PJs.
Nice.
Eddie Murphy cartoon. Muriel! That was a big part of my childhood. I loved it.
Yeah.
Also, right now, set to star Haley Steinfeld from Age of 17 and John Cena, which is a new shift from between Mark Wahlberg and Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. Huge shift.
Yeah. How they haven't released much. I mean, there's no trailers or anything yet. I don't think they've started filming yet. But
No.
I mean, so far with what's going on around it, how do you feel about this?
I don't know. I might give this one a chance. I seen Edge of 17, and Haley Steinfeld is amazing in that. So it is nothing wrong with adding proper talent. So I'm definitely with that. And the addition of John Cena, I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. Because his role in Sisters, the drug dealer, his role in Trainwreck, his role in Tour de Pharmacy, all of that.
Yes.
If he can bring any of those characters to this character, I'm cool with that. We don't know how big or small his part will be, but let's be honest here. It's John Cena. You don't just. Well, then again, he did do some small parts in that. But if you're gonna announce him like this, he has to have some kind of significant role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this one is set in the 80s, actually 1987. We all know how you feel about that.
Fuck Michael Bay. Fuck Megan Fox. Between Transformers and the Ninja Turtles, they have basically shat on every memory I have of the 80s. And I'm not okay with it anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm not. I am happy to see Haley Steinfeld doing more things. I haven't seen Edge of 17, but I have heard nothing but amazingness. Like, I feel bad for having not seen it yet. Mm-hmm. So I am excited to see that she's getting more work. I just wish it was better than a Transformer spinoff. John Cena, I mean, he started off in the Marine. You know what I mean? That was a WWE thing. I'm happy to see he did take more roles, like his role in Trainwreck.
Yep.
His role in Tour de Pharmacy. I mean, the man literally had another man's penis 3 inches away from his face.
Hilarious.
Within the first 5 minutes of the movie. You know what? John Cena has shown that he is not afraid to be a goofball. And he's got good comedic timing. And that's the hardest thing in acting. From anything I've ever seen, every interview I've ever heard, everybody will tell you, comedic timing is hard to get. And he seems to have kind of nailed that down. Like, he's doing well with it, and he's having fun with his acting career. Right. You know, it's still new. So I like that. So I'm happy to see him in this. If we get if we get more Tour de Pharmacy and less Marine John Cena, I'm okay with it.
Right, definitely.
It's still Michael Bay produced.
Yeah.
I said it. If I see another Transformers movie, I don't want Michael Bay within a million miles of it. And he's still producing it.
He is.
And this is Travis Knight. This is his first live action project.
Yeah.
He's always been, his only other film directing was Kubo and the Two Strings, which is animated. All his other credits are as animators. Mm-hmm. PJ's it's always got a warm spot in every cockle of my heart just because of what it was. I don't think he has enough clout or influence to overrule Michael Bay. And if Michael Bay starts coming in and saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, and if Travis Knight at any point disagrees with it, I don't trust Michael Bay to stay the hell away from it, not fire this guy, and start directing it himself.
Damn it, man. I didn't think about that.
Yep, sorry to kill your dream. I just saw your dream die in front of you. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't, because looking at his filmography, this is his second film he's directing. And it's a live action film. Now, granted, Bumblebee is CGI.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot.
There's gonna be a lot of stuff, but you're right. He doesn't have enough clout to fight back if needed. Mm-hmm. He can't say no. This is what I want. No, you're gonna do what Michael Bay wants.
Yeah,
I'm holding out hope because it is. They have these two talents here. I'm good with that. My only worry at this point is the release date. It looks like December 21st of 2018. Mm-hmm. Same time as Aquaman.
Yep.
Around the same time as the Mary Poppins return through Disney.
It's gonna be a big weekend.
Yeah. So because of how horribly the last Transformer has done, who knows if anybody's even gonna care about this at this point.
I think if Justice League does amazingly, and it's a good movie, and everybody's excited for Aquaman, I think Bumblebee is going to shift dates. I don't see it opening against a hot Warner Brothers DCEU movie.
Right.
I don't. Now, if Justice League comes out and is basically every other DCEU movie we've gotten except Wonder Woman,
Right.
and it's just another pile of garbage, then I think they might roll the dice and bet, because even though the last Transformers movie was garbage, it still makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's another reason I'm worried about Michael Bay coming in, because if Michael Bay comes in and says something and it ends up between Travis Knight and Michael Bay going at it, the studio's going to say, listen, Michael Bay has made shitty movies, but they make a lot of money. So you need to shut the hell up and you need to do what he tells you, because we're rolling this for the money. And I don't think so. I mean, between Travis Knight, Kubo and the Two Strings was not a money grab. That was a film, a good film. Haley Steinfeld comes from a good film background. John Cena seems more interested in making a good film than making money.
Yeah.
You know, from the projects he's taken on. So it seems like they've got all the right ingredients up front. But again, Michael Bay is a chef in the kitchen, so I don't know that I trust it yet. I'm gonna need to see, not trailers, because I've been bought in by every single fucking trailer that any Transformer movies come out.
Not that last one. That shit was
no,
terrible.
the last one. I don't even count I kind of count the last one like I count Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skulls.
Ooh.
That never happened.
Never happened.
Now I can't believe Anthony Hopkins did that. It's a bad dream. I pinch myself awake every time I see it. I'm gonna have to see the movie. I'm not gonna trust anything that comes out until the movie comes out and I can see it. I just don't trust Michael Bay.
I'll trust John Cena's promo run.
Yeah,
that's what I'll trust.
We'll see how that works out. But speaking of John Cena, he's there's a little bit of he's got a little connection with this next story. Shazam. Shazam is getting a little bit of run in the news lately. We got a 2019 year release. A lot of people are saying this is going to be the most lighthearted movie in the DCEU, which makes sense. I mean, I'm not that familiar with it, but I know it involves a kid.
Right.
You fill me in on all that.
So yeah, Shazam. Billy Batson is a kid, and he gains some kind of powers by saying Shazam and turning into a full-grown man with powers that can match Superman.
See, when I hear Shazam, I just think Tyrone Biggums from the Chappelle Show. Shazam!
Shazam! Oh man,
no, I know that. I got that connection. That's all I got.
But the director of Shazam basically says, of course, his words were, "Hey, every kid wants the power of Superman. This kid actually gets to have the power of Superman, and this is where it's going to take off from there. It has to be lighthearted because Billy Batson is a child." You know what I mean? And then when he grows into the grown man, Shazam, he still has a child mind.
So it's basically Tom Hanks from Big as a superhero.
Could be, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It could be great. We all know that The Rock has signed on to play Black Adam, which is a foe of Shazam. However, that is a little bit sketchy too, because now they're saying Black Adam is going to have his own movie, which makes sense because the Black Adam character is, an older character. He didn't come around the same time as Shazam came around. He had his powers forever. So that's gonna be a standalone. I'm a little bit excited for it. It's a different take on the superhero genre because it's a kid with superpowers, right? Even though he's a grown ass man, it's a kid with superpowers. And the reason why we said John Cena has some sort of a connection, we don't know how true this may be, but there was some art floating around with John Cena as a full grown Shazam. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't necessarily want to see him as Shazam. Now, granted, I fully expect him to be the best man-child ever in this project.
Yeah.
I fully expect that. But I don't know. Him and then The Rock are going to be on the same screen at this, like, is it going to rebuild as a WWE main event? Like, what are we going to do here? I don't know.
Yeah, what's the guy's name? The commissioner of WWE.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, like I could see like whenever there's that finally had that crossover movie, it's Vince McMahon introducing the two to each other, kind of like Lex Luthor was in Batman vs Superman. You know, as a cameo. Like I don't want to see that. I don't want it to turn into that. I don't want to see people's elbows. Although it would be a nice shout out. Like it would be a nice little Easter egg.
All he needs to do is the people's eyebrow. That's it. The eyebrow.
Give me that. I agree with you. I don't want to. I don't know that I ever want to see John Cena and The Rock in the same movie together. I don't know that I'm ready for that mentally. Although they're both goofballs. Like they both do projects where they're not afraid to be goofy. They don't take themselves seriously at all. So and we were talking about it off before we started recording. If I do see John Cena and Dwayne Johnson in a movie together, I want David Bautista to also be in that movie, and I want it to be a remake of The Three Caballeros. That's what I want to see, because the three of them have done movies where they are goofballs. David Bautista as Drax the Destroyer is amazing, and he doesn't take himself seriously. John Cena, again, has done a movie where a penis was 3 inches away from his face. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has done movies where he's gone from badass to wearing a tutu.
Yeah.
So there's, they have that comedic streak in them, and I think they could do something funny. If they do a movie together, I want it to have nothing to do with action, although I do think it would be the best action scene ever. At the very least, the most cheesy best action scene ever. But if I want to see him do The Three Caballeros. I want him to do nothing that has to do with wrestling, nothing to do with the action. I want to see him do a straight up comedy together.
Right.
Because I think that would actually be interesting more than anything else.
I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. But
and I want Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short, the original Three Caballeros, to have a cameo in that movie, by the way. That's what I want.
That will bring it full circle.
Yes. I want them all to do that little salute where they tap, do the little Macarena and then the pelvic thrust.
Yes.
Like I want to see that.
They all got to do it together. They all have to do it together. Yes.
All 6 of them.
Damn, we got to put a pitch for that now.
That's the only way. Yes. Anybody here who's good with graphic designing, make this happen. You can get the original Three Caballero pictures, but I want Dwayne Johnson, John Cena, and David Bautista in mariachi suits. And I want them all 6 of them stand together, kind of like a Ghostbusters reunion, except Three Caballeros. That's what I want. This is what I want for Christmas. Do this for Christmas. Anybody that's listening to this, go with graphic design. Make it happen. Make me happy.
We would
this
appreciate
is about me
that.
now.
And email that to nodadjokes@gmail.com.
Please email that to us. That'll be fun. They said I'm not totally familiar with Shazam. Getting back on topic here.
Yeah.
David Sandberg is set to direct it. He's done. He's had a few.
Yeah, he's did what, Lights Out and the upcoming Annabelle Creations.
Yeah, which the trailers. I'm not a huge horror fan. I don't know what I think about it. My girlfriend is a huge horror movie buff. She watched the trailers and she is not impressed.
Really?
She's also very picky. I love you, boo. She's gonna kick my ass for that one.
She is, bro.
Yeah.
She is.
Nah, I love you, baby. I really do. But I mean, I do trust her judgment because she is huge in a horror movie. So, I'm not. I don't like being startled. I don't like being. I'm good with blood and guts. Show me blood and guts. Show it to me all day. Show it to me while I'm eating. I don't give a shit. But you put a 4-year-old girl that jumps in front of a camera out of nowhere, like Paranormal Activity, and I scream like a little bitch.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I'm not okay with that. So I don't do horror movies. She does, and she's not impressed with it, so I kind of trust her judgment on it. We'll see how it goes. Shazam is set to be the next release after Aquaman, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. 2018, 2019, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see what they do with it. If they do end up casting John Cena and, The Rock is Black Adam and they're mortal enemies.
That would be the promo run for that would be amazing because it's going to be all over WWE. They're going to be at WrestleMania. It's going to be hilarious.
As long as it's not a WWE production like the Marine was, like Walking Tall was. Like, if they could maybe Easter egg it in, but not make it a huge theme of the movie, or like something that I think I'd be all right with that. I still don't know that I want it.
I don't want it. I don't want to see Justin Timberlake. What? I don't want to see John Cena as Shazam. I don't want to see that at all.
Now I just see Justin Timberlake body slamming The Rock, and then doing his little dance
just
away
dancing
from him, in a suit and tie.
Just Jay-Z in the back chair. But nah, I'm good with one wrestler. Give me somebody else as Shazam. I don't want that. I really don't want that. But like again, they said it's gonna be the most lighthearted of the movie.
And if that's the case, I could see John Cena being a man-child in something lighthearted. Mm-hmm. He's done well with that kind of a role.
I can definitely see that. I mean, maybe they gotta dye his hair. They gotta do a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't. It just feels so safe if they get John Cena. Like that's the perfect choice. I don't want that choice.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Give me somebody unknown.
I wonder how that fight scene will look though.
It'll be in a fucking ring,
I mean,
bro.
it is. no, but get like realistically, getting away from like all the wrestling jokes and the people's elbows. I mean, their whole careers are based off of fight choreography.
Yeah.
I got to imagine it would probably be a pretty good fight scene.
It would be. It really would be. It would probably be the best action scene of that year.
I want Don King to come out in this. Only in America.
It would probably it would be great, but I don't know. I'd rather somebody else.
See, now as we're talking about this, so Marcel is scrolling down an article for the best calls for Shazam, and Liam Hemsworth is on that list. Whoever put this list together needs to die in a car accident on fire. Liam Hemsworth has not done anything that I've ever been excited for.
Right.
I don't want to say he sucked in Hunger Games. Mm-hmm. He sucked in the movie where he was with his brother. Liam Hemsworth, by the way, people, is Chris Hemsworth's younger brother.
Thor.
Thor's little brother. No, he's not done anything that I like. I do like, over here we got Tom Welling, who played Superman in Smallville.
I like that. That would be a nice callback.
Tom Welling going back into the DCEU.
That would be a nice callback.
Not as Superman, but as Shazam, which is basically Superman as a kid.
Right. And there is a comic where Shazam and... Well, of course there is. But there is a comic where Shazam and Superman team up. And there's also a comic where Shazam and Superman go at it.
I would love to see Tom Welling in the DC. But has he done any actual movies?
I haven't seen him in anything significant.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool to see. I'm not.
Do you think he can do a man-child?
I don't know what he can do. I haven't seen him do anything but Smallville.
That's true.
But if he's got the chops for it, I think it was just the nerd in me would love to see Superman and Superman in a movie. You give me Brandon Ruth in this motherfucker.
Oh, we be in there, right?
I'm losing my mind. If we could look, we just CGI'd a young Princess Leia. We can CGI Christopher Reeves.
Yes, we can.
In this now.
That could be his dad.
Oh, it's Jarrell. Christopher Reeves is Jarrell.
Oh my gosh. Damn it, man.
Well, we already got Jarrell though. It's already.
No, he could be Billy Batson's dad.
Oh.
Yeah. But now that I think about it, I don't think his dad is in the picture. So maybe not.
Well, neither is Christopher Reeves. Ha! It's just a picture. It's just a framed picture of Christopher Reeves riding a horse.
That would be good. That's fucked up. I just thought about it. Damn it,
right.
man.
Yeah, that went. Damn. I think we lost a listener for that one.
We really did.
We might have gained 4 though.
But no, I mean, I'm excited to see what they may have in store. It'll be different. Again, a different take on the superhero. Let's see who they get. Yeah. Just not John Cena.
Yeah, tentatively not John Cena. I don't know. I'm on the fence of it. It wouldn't be what I want to see. But again, I don't know. I think I'd be okay with it in the long run if it was done well. So sticking along with the DCEU, we're gonna go Batman. There's been some news about the Batman lately. Mm-hmm. We all know Matt Reeves is gonna be directing this one. Matt Reeves just finished doing a War for the Planet of the Apes, which was a great movie.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it yet, but it's been getting huge reviews. Everybody loves it. It's probably not getting as much buzz as I think it deserves, but again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Right.
But this one is apparently he has an idea for a trilogy, and what I've been reading so far is that it is potentially leading up to Batman Beyond, which again I'm not a huge Batman fan, so I do know that there is a run of Batman Beyond comics, but then Ben Affleck has also come on and said that he is absolutely willing to do this trilogy. I don't know if I buy that. I don't know how honest that is. At this point, I don't trust anything revolving Ben Affleck and DCEU because there's been so much back and forth with the tension. Mm-hmm. Or with the relationship there, I don't know what I trust, but I don't doubt that Ben Affleck would be willing to do it if there's talent attached to it. You know what I mean? And Matt Reeves has definitely shown some talent. I think if there is a good storyline, and if there is something, I think that might be interesting. What do you think about the whole thing?
I mean, I like if that's the take on it, that the trilogy is going to lead up to Batman Beyond or Terry McGinnis. That's not bad. The run that they had of Batman Beyond, the animated series, it's still good, still holds up. I kind of watched it with my son not too long ago. it's just I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm hearing they wanted to do a noir style Batman. I heard they scrapped all the Ben Affleck's script for Batman. Then you're telling me with the whole leading up to Batman Beyond, what are those three movies going to be about? Because the big takeaway from that is, okay, it leads into Batman Beyond. What is going to happen? You can't have we're gonna have a 70-year-old Batman for three movies.
See, I don't know anything about Batman Beyond to know that. Is it still Bruce Wayne
It's
in
still
Batman Beyond?
so Bruce Wayne is Terry McGinnis's mentor, who Terry McGinnis is the new Batman in the future. So yeah, I can see Ben Affleck being that mentor figure to the new Batman during the Batman Beyond run, but I need them to focus on what's happening with these three movies. Mm-hmm. They want to throw us this. Oh yeah, it's gonna lead into this. Okay, great. What's the first movie gonna be about?
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? The former script, I guess that Ben Affleck had the bad guy of Deathstroke, who would have been played by Joe Manganiello. And they had a test footage leak last year sometime of him just standing in a helicopter, what have you. It looked good, and I was excited for that because Deathstroke needs to be done proper on the big screen. Mm-hmm. They did him in Arrow, great job, but I definitely want to see him on the big screen. But now they're saying that he might be out, and all of that hype was for nothing.
Yeah, new script, new story. Yeah, I can see that.
And then, okay, what are we doing with Jared Leto's Joker, for that matter? Like it's all over the place.
That's always been, I think, most people's biggest gripe with the DCEU is that there doesn't seem to be a real direction.
No,
it's just kind of scattered, and they're just kind of like, oh, that worked. Let's go ahead and run with that. Well, why didn't you have a plan in the first place? Like, and then if something doesn't work, maybe revisit,
retool,
but you still stick to. And I think that you still stick to the plan, and I think that's what Marvel has done a lot better than the DCEU because you've got let's say, I know we can't stay on DCEU for shit, but. I mean, you've got the MCU, which their weakest movies, but by a long shot, has been Thor. Mm-hmm. Still good movies, but the first two Thor movies weren't the strongest ones. They didn't shift direction. They still had a plan, and they stuck to that plan. Now, they may have changed a few things here and there just to kind of take the audience perception and the audience critiques into consideration, which you should do.
Absolutely.
But overall, they've stuck to their plan. They knew what their long game was, and they haven't deviated from that story, more or less, for the most part, unless they needed to. Unless they saw, hey, this absolutely did not work. We should revisit how we do this. Okay, cool. But we're still telling the same story. We just might change a few things there. DCEU, it just seems like, hey, let's just throw this shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Exactly.
And that's not how you that's not how you build a franchise. And it sucks because WB, Warner Brothers, has made some great movies. They're one of they're one of the oldest studios. They're one of the best studios out there. They make good movies, but they just they crap the bed every time, except for Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. Every other DCEU movie has been a complete crap on the bed.
I can hark this up to is that they're trying to stay so far from the models that Marvel MCU has built that they completely missed the point.
And I don't see why they would. I mean, MCU,
it's laid out.
It works.
Yeah.
It's a formula that works. Why not take that? Because the only thing that's going to happen is if MCU movies do well and those comic book movies do well, your comic book movies will do well also. Yes, it's competition, but you want everybody to do well because if you come up with a string of crappy comic book movies, guess what? Ain't nobody watching comic book movies anymore. Everybody suffers.
A rising tide raises all ships.
Yeah. There's no reason why you shouldn't take some keynotes like, hey, these are best practices. I come from the hotel industry, professionally. And if I see that this hotel chain is doing something well, I'm going to maybe not adapt that exact same thing. Obviously, that's their thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to look for something along that vein like, hey, if they're doing this well, that's a good practice. Maybe I should incorporate something similar into my own chain, brand it for myself.
Exactly.
And do that. We've done that with this podcast. We see other podcasts that release on Libsyn, and they also put out on Google Play and iTunes and Stitcher and TuneIn Radio. And we saw that. We noticed that's good for podcasts, and we did it. Not because we're trying to copy off of every other podcast, but because it's what works. And again, to our fans, it makes it easier for you guys to listen to and makes us more accessible. We're here for you guys.
Subscribe, like, and share. But no, I get it. It's Batman has some of the most iconic villains of all time. Okay, we've used Joker, we've used the Riddler, we've used Two-Face, Penguin.
They referenced Penguin in that trailer too. That
they
Justice
do.
League trailer. Oh,
And
I loved it.
I like that. Right? That's cool. We can even go back to Penguin. We can do a better Catwoman. We can do a better Riddler. I like Deathstroke. Deathstroke is really dope. You could definitely. Well, yeah, Harley Quinn is in it. I would like for them to shy away from Joker. We know Joker's amazing.
Right.
We know that's the end all be all. Make him the end all be all. You have a whole. I like Deadshot in Suicide Squad. I like his character off of Suicide Squad, not just from that. But I like his character in the Batman comics. There's a whole host of other villains that they are able to use. Stop harking on Joker because they sold Joker to us like a brand new fool back on Suicide Squad, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
And yeah, out of the DC universe, not just the movie universe, but DC comics, yeah, Batman does have the most iconic villains. Like you said, you got Joker, Catwoman, Penguin, the Riddler, Scarecrow,
yeah,
Poison Ivy, like all of them. Like, and with Superman, all I ever knew was Lex Luthor.
Doomsday.
I didn't know who Doomsday was. I have no idea who Steppenwolf is.
I don't know.
Even the Flash. I love the Flash. All I know is Reverse Flash. I don't know who Dr. Zoom is. I don't know anybody else in the Flash. I can't even name you another villain because I don't know him.
Captain Boomerang.
Who?
Like all of those villains interchange. My thing is,
hold up. Time out. Just hold on. Wait, Captain Boomerang was really in the Flash?
Yeah, Boomerang.
Oh shit! I didn't know that, and now that explains Suicide Squad to me because the Flash is who caught caught Boomerang.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that makes sense. See, I learned something, and that's what we're all about, folks. Education. Sometimes we entertain. Most of the time, we try to educate. I hope everybody else learned something just like I did.
There you go. Give me what we're doing for the 3 movies. Don't give me the end game because your end game may not be what these 3 movies lead into.
Right.
So give me proper villains for all 3 movies, and then let's go from there.
But I get that, and you're right. We need to see if this trilogy even works in the first place before we start talking about what's coming out. Yeah, and that makes sense. But I like the fact that somebody at Warner Brothers or somebody that's involved in the DCEU is actually thinking about a long game. Because from what I've seen, he's the only one that's doing it.
Let me tell you something. I feel like that Batman Beyond announcement came from his damn son eating Captain Crunch on the table for breakfast. And he's trying to scramble around like, yeah, but what should we do? What should we do? Dad, why don't you just make it lead into Batman Beyond? Oh, that might work.
Hey, what was it? There was some movie that a guy made because I can't remember it now. We talked about it before. Somebody made a movie because his son recommended it, and it was like one of the best movies. Damn it skipped my head. I don't even remember it now. Hey, you know what? If we get a good movie out of it, good job, kid. I hope he gives this kid a bigger allowance.
Yeah. But I don't feel like that's a thought. I don't feel like they know what they're going to do because let's be for real here. Batman Beyond is way in the future. Like way into the future.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? What's the time jumps? What are we doing?
Right, and I get that. I just and you're totally right. We need to release the Batman first. We need to find out if Ben Affleck's going to have anything.
Yeah,
to
we
do
need
with
a
it
Batman.
First. Yeah, we need to know who the hell Batman's going to be. Is it going to be Ben Affleck? I like it, but again, I'm happy that somebody's actually thinking long term. I'm happy that somebody actually has a long story to tell and is willing to put in that effort to write out this trilogy and say, yeah, we can have it lead into this. Now, whether or not it goes into that is up to the studio and where the movies go, but at least he's got enough foresight and enough vision to say, this is what I'd like to do with it. Because right now, everybody else is just kind of, we're going to make this movie, and if it does well, we'll make another one. And if it doesn't, we'll scrap it and make another MTV video and call it Suicide Squad 2.
Rotted. Yeah, that's what that was. All that color.
So that's our thoughts on Batman's, folks. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Leading in this, we're just gonna leave. We're leaving DCEU. We're gonna go into Star Wars.
Yes.
This is not a topic we visited a lot. We touched on it last episode with the D23 and the Comic-Con. But you and I are huge Star Wars fans. They just announced episode 9 is getting a rewrite with Jack Thorne. Colin Trevorrow is director, has already written a full script. Filming's supposed to start in about the next 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And start in January. And they brought him in for rewrites. A lot of people are screaming. A lot of people are scared. Are you scared, Raul?
So, no, to answer that question, I'm not scared about the whole rewrite thing because it's not a page one rewrite. It's some fresh set of eyes on the project. It happens with a lot of movies, rewrites, reshoots. It's the normal process. People need to stop getting scared of that. I was just talking about this with my dad. Because of the internet, we are now privy to this information. Back in the day, none of this behind the scenes shit was available for us to even look at.
Right.
So that's why nobody ever got word. Nobody cared. There were no podcasts talking about this like it is now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people need to understand that this is normal practices. Episode 7 had rewrites and reshoots. Rogue One had rewrites and reshoots. Every movie that you know and love has had some rewrites and some reshoots. I remember reading about Toy Story 1, that they had to scrap an entire movie and reshoot an entire movie. It was already done, and they redid the whole thing. You didn't know that until probably just now.
Yeah, I didn't. I learned that. Boomerang was in the Flash.
There you go. So people need to understand that. I'm cool with that. This person, Jack Thorne, they brought in. He's writing an upcoming movie for Julia Roberts. I hear is really good. It's just some fresh set of eyes that are taking a look at it. People need to understand as well, this is Disney. They want things to be correct.
Yeah.
They like their money.
Yeah.
They also like our money.
And they like, more than that, I think they like their franchises.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, these execs are fans. Mm-hmm. Whether it's Kevin Feige in Marvel, Kathleen Kennedy for Star Wars, they are fans first. So when they get involved, I am not worried about it at all.
Yeah.
Dig what I'm saying? So Jack Thorne coming in to take a look at the script, whether it's some rewrites, some changes, some edits, tweak this around. It's normal. And my main reason why I think this is even being publicized is because they have to do some sort of rewrites due to the untimely passing of Carrie Fisher. They have to do something because I heard that she was a big part of episode 8 and probably an even bigger part of episode 9. Mm-hmm. So now they need a fresh pair of eyes. They need to say, okay, where do we go? We don't know anything about episode 8 yet. Mm-hmm. We don't know how big her role is, but they didn't change anything.
Right.
So we have to know what's the next step. I don't want to see a CGI Carrie Fisher.
No,
I'm sorry.
Not at all.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If they have to do it because there's no other way to finish the story, then we just have to grin and bear it. She's no longer here. It kind of took me out of the movie when I saw her direct the Krennic CGI'd because I looked at it. I was like, this doesn't look real. What's happening here? And then when I seen her, I was like, this is not real. What's going on?
Yeah.
It took me out of the movie. But if that's the only way to finish it, Disney will find a way to make it better.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with a lot of that. I agree, with a fresh set of eyes, it makes sense because everybody's saying, well, Rian Johnson directed and wrote the Last Jedi. Well, that's great. He probably just nailed the story on the head. Is what it is. All that means.
Or the news didn't break that somebody else took a look at it.
No, I think at this point, I think you hit it on the head too. Where with Google and the internet, I don't think they're going to keep that a secret from anybody. Especially Disney and Star Wars, because they keep everything pretty close to the chest. If it's going to leak, it's going to get out. But I like I said, I don't, like you said, I agree with you. I don't think it's a huge deal. I think they just want a fresh set of eyes, maybe to take a look at it. Maybe there's something on the story, or maybe with Carrie Fisher passing. Listen, when Colin Trevorrow wrote episode 9, Carrie Fisher was still alive.
Yeah,
he wrote it. Right after they finished with episode 8, she was still alive. So he had that into the story he wrote. Now with her passing, it could be that he's trying to rewrite the script to kind of get it. And the execs are looking at him like, you know what? This isn't exactly what we want. Like, it could be that they're just not totally 100% on the ball. Maybe they see things that, all right, this could be better. Let's bring in a fresh set of eyes who didn't write the original screenplay, who is coming into this knowing that Carrie Fisher isn't an option,
right?
And see if we can't help this out. Because it's not a page one rewrite. They're not ditching the story. They're not ditching the movie. It could just be that he's having a hard time taking her out of the picture when he spent so much time and energy knowing she was in the picture that sometimes when you have to come back and revisit, sometimes it's a little tricky. Like, I can't figure this out. I've dedicated so much time and energy to this.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm so deep into this box. It's kind of hard for me to get out of it. And okay, so let's bring in a fresh set of eyes to kind of take a look and see if maybe they can't build this up. So I'm not worried about it. I think it's just something that they need to do now. And to touch on what you brought up, if it is to the point where they can't write Princess Leia out and they do need to use it, I agree. I don't want to CGI Princess Leia. How would you feel about recasting?
I don't. That's
yeah.
that's
yeah.
rough.
I don't get
rough.
that face out of you a lot. Yeah.
That's rough, man. You can't. That's like, I get why you're casting a new young Han Solo, because my man is old now, so he can't do that. This is old General Leia. We just seen old General Leia episode 7, episode 8. I don't want to see somebody else play that part.
See,
I can't.
I think I would rather see that than a CGI. And if you get a talent to do it, well, I'm not talking about some no-name, older actress. I'm talking about somebody who's going to come and do the role justice and take it. Like, if we were to get Meryl Streep to come in and play General Leia, because they can't write her out of the story. She's just too important to the story. You bring someone like Meryl Streep, who is basically, if she's in a movie, just immediately put a name in the Oscar nomination category.
True.
She's gonna take that role seriously. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they had a personal relationship, but I'm sure they've both been in Hollywood a long time. I'm sure she knew Carrie Fisher, or at least she's close to people who know Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
She's the right age for it. It's not like you're recasting a young General Leia. No, you are bringing somebody with clout. You're bringing a talent. You're bringing in somebody that is going to take the role seriously and who's going to represent it well. And I think that's somebody that even Carrie Fisher's family could probably say, like, hey, you know what? I don't like the fact that they're replacing my mom.
Right.
But if they were going to do it, I'd like to see somebody of that caliber. I'm not saying Meryl Streep. I'm just throwing the name out there. It's who I'd like to see.
But no, that's...
I think that's what I would like to see more. If that was the case, I want to see that before I see CGI. I'd rather they recast it with somebody that's a known talent and somebody that's going to do it well and do it justice.
That's not a bad casting choice at all. It's just going to feel so weird.
And that's my other concern with it. It's going to feel weird seeing somebody that isn't Carrie Fisher.
It's like
playing Leia,
for lack of a better term, somebody replacing your mom,
which we did in Fresh Prince.
Oh man,
yep, I went there.
Oh man,
Aunt Viv changed twice. Well, once. We had two Aunt Vivs.
Two Aunt Vivs, yeah, light skin. Oh yeah, no.
I mean, shit. Family Matters wrote out a daughter.
Yeah, she just went somewhere.
That's right. She had a little sister. Nobody remembers that shit. I don't even remember her name. I just know that the girl's doing porn.
Yeah. I was gonna say she's a porn star now. I don't know. Like it saddens me to even have to think, and it's crazy because these are fictional characters. Well, Carrie Fisher's a real person.
Yeah,
these are fictional characters that we've grown super close with. Like my daughter screamed out when Han Solo. Spoiler, guys, if you haven't fucking seen it, when Han Solo was killed, screamed out. She was damn near tears when I told her that Carrie Fisher passed. And because that's what I watched with my youngest daughter. Me and her watched all 6 Star Wars movies right before Force Awakens came out, and that's how we became fans.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep wouldn't be bad because she would do it justice and she'll be respectful about it.
Yeah, she's got the talent, and I think the sense of professionalism and understands the depth of what's happening with that. Like, not only are you playing a role that's close to everybody's heart, but you are replacing somebody. Like you have to come into that. There's a lot of weight onto that, and I think she'd be one to handle it.
Yeah, she wouldn't be. It's like, again, it's like replacing a parent. You can't. You see, she passed away, and then you see this other person come in who's probably going to do a great job, but you can't give them that full go ahead because you're like, yo, you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not Carrie Fisher.
And you know what the thing is? And the reason I picked Meryl Streep in my head was because I think, let's say that's the route they go. And let's say they approach her for it. Because if I'm thinking of it, we already know Disney's listening to me.
Yeah.
Because they just casted...
in talks for Chiwetel Ejiofor.
They're talking to Chiwetel Ejiofor to voice Scar, which I recommended on this show. You can go back and listen to it. I said it first.
Right.
whoever's listening to me at Disney, thank you.
You're welcome, Disney.
We appreciate you for listening. So if I hear next week that they're talking to Meryl Streep, I swear.
Yo, we gotta play Lotto.
No, I think Meryl Streep, and the reason I say it is because I think they'd have to convince her to do it in the first place.
Right.
I think she'd say no. I think I think they would really have to work on convincing her, which makes me feel, if that's the case, would make me feel better about her doing it in the long run because she already knows, the weight behind it.
Right.
But that's what I would like to see. I would like to just see if they could find a classy, good way to write her out of it. I think that would be the best for everybody involved.
Right.
But let's say the story's just too ingrained in Leia, because essentially the story's about the second part of the trilogy. The New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. That's about Luke and Leia.
Yeah.
It's about the Skywalker children and their journey. So. It makes sense that this next trilogy would focus pretty heavily on them as well. So if that's the case and they do have to recast or they do have to keep her in, that's what I'd like to see.
That wouldn't be bad.
I wouldn't mind seeing Meryl Streep with the Princess Leia curls.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
She's already in the Disney fold because she is in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, she is.
She's the Nova Corps people. So yeah, as much as I don't want to, if they have to. As a matter of fact, I don't want nobody else but her.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody else but her.
I've actually sat on this. I sat on this for a few weeks. Meryl Streep is who I want to see do it.
All right, Disney. Well, that's our suggestion.
Yeah.
You took the last one.
We already know you're listening.
We're not going to charge you guys. Just, throw us a little
shout out. Like at the end of the credits where they're showing the ASCAP and, all the little logos, just throwing the little Pop Song logo.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we need.
That's all we asking.
That's it.
Just pay. Or not even just, hashtag no dad jokes.
Yeah.
Or hashtag release the S.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just let us know. Just wink at us, Disney, and we got this.
Yeah, that's all we need.
We're even. Give us maybe some annual passes.
Yes, do that.
Please.
Do that.
Please. Please. Give me, you ain't even got to give me the annual pass. Let me and my son go on the cruise. Once.
One time.
One time.
That's crazy. But yeah.
I think we're running out of juice with Disney on this one.
Well,
all right. Well, on that, I think let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about parenting. We're going to talk about some of the struggles, some of the experiences, and some of the tribulations that come with being a step parent.
Yeah, we're going to
go ahead and listen to these messages. We'll be back.
Our Twitter handle is currently at NoDadJokes with a Z.
Yeah, and the reason for this atrocity is because No Dad Jokes with an S is currently being held hostage by some limp dick shit-stained bastard.
Oh, hey, whoa. Just remember your pressure points.
I'm sorry, everybody. I apologize.
Seems as though a fellow tweeter has No Dad Jokes with an S and hasn't tweeted in about 2 years. We're trying to get Twitter's attention to go ahead and get this released for us.
Yeah, and that's where you all come in. Hashtag release the S on all your tweets, all your social media posts, and let's see if we can't get Twitter's attention and get them to give us the handle that we rightfully deserve.
Support the cause.
Release the S. All right, everybody, welcome back to Pops on episode 7. Jay Alvarez along with Raul. We hope you enjoyed your break. Hope you enjoyed the couple of little messages we had for you. We were sitting here watching some bullshit Game of Thrones videos. Anybody that's not on the GOT tip, get on it. Slowly getting Marcel and Raul caught up.
Yes, season 2. I'm in there.
You eventually you two will know the wonders that is GOT, and I won't feel like the only asshole that watches that in the room. But this next topic had nothing to do with Game of Thrones. So Raul and I, again, we are fathers, but we are also step parents. We are stepfathers.
Yep.
Raul has been raising. How many stepkids do you have?
Two girls.
And you've been raising them for how long?
Well, the oldest is going to be 15. So what? 7 years? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 7 or 8 years.
So you've been doing it for a little while. I'm with my girlfriend. We haven't been together long, but we are living together. We are. And she does have a daughter, so I'm essentially, I'm learning how to be a step parent, essentially. And we were both raised by step parents as well. I was raised by my stepmother. You had a stepfather that raised you.
Right.
So there's a lot, there's all kinds of families. There's all kinds of family dynamics, and blended families are a real thing. My son does also live with a stepfather. And, so there's a lot of, there's a lot of hard times that come in that because what I'm finding is, disciplining a kid. You know what I mean? Like my stepdaughter, there's already a couple of factors there that make that already offer up their own challenges, and but with disciplining, I'll tell you, last weekend, she was a little mean to me. It wasn't a great weekend for the kid and I. But I had to do what I had to do as not just as a parent, but as a responsible adult. There was she was doing things that I had to call her out on, and and address with her mom because. Her and I don't have the type of relationship yet. There's a lot of trust that comes with disciplining a kid.
Right.
And I don't know that her and I are there yet where I can actually dole out any kind of discipline. But I will call her out and I will have her mother address it, and that's, slowly that will progress.
Absolutely.
But, I brought it up to her mom. We were talking the other night where I felt bad because she did something where I called her out on. She did get, basically got sent to bed. And she gave me this really mean look. You know what I mean? I don't have a daughter of my own, and I'm happy I don't. Because if I would have had my own blood daughter and she gave me that look, I'd be devastated. I would have never left the house. I would have been in shock. You basically confined me to a wheelchair and put me in a home for the rest of my life. I don't know that I'd be able to take that kind of heartbreak. And that hurt. When she gave me that look, it did hurt. And I don't necessarily have the best relationship with my stepmother. It's a lot better than it was than when I was a kid. But, I was telling her I don't want to have a relationship with her where she just sees me as as a dick, basically. Like I don't want her to see me as some asshole who's only out to get her in trouble.
Right.
And last weekend was kind of rough because it seemed like every time I said her name or anytime we had an interaction, it was because she was getting into trouble. So, I don't. So I'm starting to learn how to walk on those eggshells. Yeah, how do I foster a good relationship with her while still not letting her get away with murder because I can't set that precedent up. How have you dealt with that?
So this was a long journey, bro. Long journey. First of all, my thing is, and what I've learned, over the years, even with my step pops, that's not my step. That's pops. That's dad. That's father. I take the word step out. My dad has been there since the very beginning. My step pops, for lack of a better term, so I can refer to him properly. He's been there from the very beginning, so I never looked at him as a step pop. So me and him has never had that "you're not my dad" moment. You know what I mean? That's dad. That's the only dad I know. You know what I mean? He's been there through and through my entire life. It's different with me and the girls. My oldest met her at 7. The youngest met her at 3-4 years old. The 3-4-year-old one didn't really take much to get her on my side. Right. You know what I mean? We go places, do things. Hey, how you doing? That's it. Cool. The oldest one, she gave me some pushback. A lot of pushback.
Yeah.
A whole lot of pushback. We've had, in the beginning, I was scared. So I gave them everything. I did anything and everything that they wanted.
Right.
Cake for breakfast. We go out for ice cream. We had McDonald's all the time. Whatever they wanted, whatever they asked for, I did that. I didn't know how to say no.
Right.
In the beginning, my wife and her 2 daughters, my 2 daughters as well, they cried for everything. Everything. I'd say, hey, can you go clean your room? Cry. I said, what did I just say? I didn't know what to do. So I just stopped, trying to tell them to do anything. I was like, okay, all right, fine. Like, hey, come here, give me a hug. I'm sorry. Yeah. Stuff like that. So I had to have a conversation with my mom and my dad. Like, yo, how do I deal with this? I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
They're like, you have to be the man. You have to be. If she is choosing you as her mate for life, then you also have to be that for them. You have to be their dad. You have to show them. You have to give them, let them know, like, listen, you can't just do certain things.
Right.
I had to do it as if they were mine. So that's when I was like, all right, well, this step thing is going to be dropped. I'm dad. Okay, that's it. You're going to have to listen. You're going to have to respect. I'm not going to do no... and I have to build that trust especially with the oldest ones, like I'm never going to tell you anything wrong. I'm never going to steer you in the wrong direction. I know that it's going to take some time for you to actually trust me, but I'm going to talk to you as if we're adults here. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. When you're doing wrong, you're doing wrong. It's point blank, period. We have to build that trust. Also, you have to find something in common with them. My youngest daughter is a girly girl. So I painted some nails.
I'm sorry.
I painted some nails, got my nails painted. Okay? What saved me, well, not saved because this is way further on, but what really got me and her together was Star Wars. We both got sick that September before episode 7 came out, and she was always talking about what's the cartoon name?
Rebels.
Rebels. She was always talking about Rebels. I was like, we got sick. We stayed home for 2 days. We watched all 6 movies, and we just became mega fans. That's our thing. That's our thing. Me and her do all of that together. Anything Star Wars, that's us. With the oldest one, again, it was a lot harder for her and I to get along because there was some pushback. You're not my dad, stuff like that. And hearing that comment, no matter what, that shit hurt.
That hurt me hearing you say it,
bro. That shit.
And I'm not even
hurts.
trying to raise you.
You know what I mean? So it took a minute for us to really me and her now are the best of friends. Like she's got to be like the number one fan of the show. She's always listening to it. She's always giving me dad jokes and giving me like me and her talk about everything because her and I had to find a common ground. She likes to draw. She likes artistic things. She loves music. She loves art. She's a super nerd. She wants to be an engineer. She knew that from she was like 8 years old.
Right.
Who does that? And she's still working towards that. So I give, we foster that. I help her with stuff. But when it comes time to discipline, now she's a 14-year-old teenager. That's
already hard enough.
Yeah, already. You know what I mean? So I got to deal with the mood swings and attitudes. And sometimes I got to catch myself because I'm like, yo, that's disrespectful. I'm like, oh, she's going through her emotions. And fuck them emotions. I don't give a shit about them goddamn emotions. You don't talk to me like that. But I have to reel it in.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, you have to understand where she's coming from with certain things. I get it. My thing with that, find common ground.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
See, what I'm having not a hard time with, I'm actually happy that, it's the situation. Her father is in the picture. So I do have to come with the approach that I'm not your father. And I'm not trying to replace your father because your father is your father and he is there. So I'm not... the last thing I want to do is try to replace him because that's not fair. That's not fair to her. It's not fair to him.
No.
Like I said, my son's growing up with a stepfather too. So, the one thing that his stepfather and I do understand is that he's not dad and he's not going to replace me because I am in the picture.
Right.
If her father wasn't in the picture, that'd be a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? At least I think it would be because even though I'm not her dad, and I'm not coming in this, I'm in the relationship with her mom and, it's not my role to be. That's still a role that I have to grow into. But finding that fine line's a little harder now because that line is a little thinner because her dad is in the picture.
Right.
So where you said like you were dropping the step stuff, I am the stepdad. So and with my stepmother, the relationship I had with her, like I said, wasn't great growing up. It was pretty shitty growing up. My relationship with my stepmother, and my mom was marginally in the picture. Like as an adult now, I can look back and I know that there were a lot of problems with my mother. And I can kind of appreciate what my stepmother went through with me, like all the bullshit that I put her through.
Right.
What our relationship now still isn't great, but it's a lot better than it was. What scares me is that I'd end up having the same relationship with this girl as I had with my stepmother, and I don't want that either.
Right.
I do try to find common ground. Her and her mom are huge into Harry Potter. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. God, I'm trying. I'm like a quarter through the second movie, and we've been watching this for 6 months.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. Jesus, dude, get on that.
Well, look, Westworld came out, then Game of Thrones came out, and there's so many other things that are coming out. But yeah, it's a hard. I am trying to find that. Right. She's really into math. She's really good at math, and we do get along. We have game nights and stuff. I remember the first time my girlfriend came home, she went shopping, and the girl and I, we started playing Life, the board game. And she came home and she's like, "What are you two doing?" Like, "We're playing Life. Go ahead and unpack the groceries. We're doing our thing."
Yeah, we're finishing up here.
Yeah. So we get along, but like last weekend just really kind of hit me.
Yeah.
And what the coolest part of it though was last Friday she actually apologized. That's right. Like, I came home from work. I was putting the groceries away. And she said, "Hey, Jay, I'm sorry." I said, "What for?" She's like, "Oh, for being mean to you." And that was totally, unnecessary. You know what I mean? But and I felt like, all right, cool. We have a little thing where we don't, tap the back of our hands twice. You're like, give me two to the back, or give me the backhand 2 times. And we do that, and that's kind of our little thing. And she did that, and it's cool because I am trying to build a relationship with her too. I do want her to trust me, and like I said, she does have some. I'm learning how to not just raise a kid that isn't mine, but she has autism also. So that's another factor that I have to bring in, and another thing I'm learning about. And I like to think I'm doing it well. It's just there's a lot of, like I said, I'm learning how to walk on those eggshells, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah. So and it's gonna be throughout. Like I said, with me and the oldest one, it was a long, hard road, but you got to understand that they're just kids. They don't know. They don't understand certain things, and at the end of the day, it's not about who, what you're doing or what you have done. It's who's there.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? And I try to be there for whatever she comes to me and talks to me about everything stuff that I don't like. The other day, she's telling me about some boy she likes, and I was like, why are you coming to me with that? And she's like, well, I like to talk about these things. Like, talk to your mother. Like I don't want to know.
Because then nobody wants to have that conversation with their mom. I told you about what happened with my sister.
Yeah.
Do we do this on air? Are we doing this?
Do this, please.
Okay, so my sister.
Wait, whoa. Story time.
Okay, story time with Jay, folks. Okay, so like I said, I was at Tampa over the weekend with my sister, and she's my half sister. She's my dad. I'm number 2 of 7 kids. All 7 of us come from the same father. We're split up between 3 different mothers. With the exception of my older sister, who grew up in Texas. Love you, Leslie. Hope you listen. The rest of us all grew up in the same house. So that whole half sister, half brother, they're my brothers and sisters.
Right.
Even my older sister who didn't grow up in the house, I never call her my half sister. She's my older sister.
Absolutely.
Not much older. She's still young. Spring chicken. Love you, Leslie. Never give your age out. But we're all for the most part we're all pretty tight knit. And I'm staying at my youngest sister's house, and she's pregnant. I totally forgot she was pregnant because she just had a baby. Like my niece is 10, my nephew just turned 20 months, and she's 5 months pregnant again. I think it's about 5 months. And I totally forgot when we were on the way to the house. I came out of the car when we got in the driveway. She came out. I'm like, "Oh shit, you got a belly! I forgot you got a baby in you."
Terrible, dude.
So we're talking. It's my girlfriend, my sister, and I. We're talking, and my sister starts telling me that mom is talking to me about like birth control and stuff, and like I don't want to. We've never had this conversation. How do I get this conversation to stop? She's like, "What are you gonna do to not have another baby? You thinking about getting your tubes tied?" And I said, "No, I don't want my tubes tied." And she said, "So what are you gonna do?" And I looked at him like, "Well, if you want to stop the conversation, you could probably just say, well, I guess you'll stop finishing on my face from now on."
Jesus Christ.
I'm not well in the head. I don't know why that's the first thing that came out of my mouth. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to mind. But in a practical, point of view, yes, if you say that to mom, I'm sure she will never talk to you about this ever again.
I don't think she will say anything ever again.
She'll never talk to you again. Just forget sex, forget birth control. You will never talk to. She'll never come to your house again. Like that's how you stop this conversation in the future.
Life lessons, bro.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you telling your daughter to go to her mom with this. I hope that you never have to have her tell you this to your face.
Oh my
either.
God, that's gonna be so bad. Let's reel it in.
Yeah, let's bring this back. So like with the stepdaughter, like I know I'm not gonna be dad. I'm not her father, but I'd still like my goal is basically to be the best positive influence I can be, because that's really the only option I have. And her mom has been really cool with me, kind of explaining to me what's going on, emotionally with her, like what to expect, how to act. And, I'm happy, we're lucky. We're lucky that she's in a situation where she's high functioning. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's tantrums and, there's some, behavior corrections that need to be made. But for the most part, she's, pretty high functioning. And I'm thankful for that. And I know she is as well, because she has raised this girl for 8 years and has had to go through all the headache and all the heartbreak, because raising a child with any kind of anything isn't easy. You know what I mean? And I can't imagine the stuff that my girlfriend is going through. And you know, I hear I hear her talk about when this girl was, you know, like 2 or 3 years old, and I'm like, wow, I could have never dealt with that. You know, so it gives me new respect for my girlfriend as well, hearing that she went through that, and to hear that and to see where this girl is now. You know, that's a long. I can, you know, I didn't see it, but I can tell that it's a huge improvement. She's come a long way herself. So I'm fortunate in that aspect that I don't have to do the heavy lifting. And that's another reason why I'm never going to take the place of her father, because he was there for that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to speak on the type of relationship that's there, but he was there for that. And so you know that's another thing. I'm not going to disrespect him by trying to take that role over from him. But it breaks my heart when she looks at me and she gets mad, and when she's shitty to me. That hurts, because I'm trying here, little girl. I try to keep the names off the podcast, but I'm trying, little mama.
Trust me, it's not easy, and trust me, no, and in no way am I trying to replace anyone. When I say, you know, you gotta take the step off, because it's not about the step. You don't want that. It's your dad. You're this is the role that you have now. There's no all right, see you later on the weekends, or go away for the. No, you're there, buddy. You're there. I can't. I mean, we went graphic already. When she first got her,
I just told my sister to tell my mom that her boyfriend's gonna finish on her face.
We can, you know, when she, you know,
we've passed any line of decency.
First time things
Mom.
changing with her body. Let's go there. She called me, and she called me crying, and I thought something happened, and she was like, "No, I got this situation," and I was like, "Oh," and I was at work, and I was like, "Oh, man, so." And I just handed the phone to a coworker of mine, 'cause I was like, I don't know what to tell her. Go get a thing. Go get a plug it up. I don't know what to tell you.
Plug it up. This isn't a dam in Holland. This is
because she called crying, and I'm like, I'm already walking out the door like I'm about to go kill somebody, and she told me that, and I just sat back down like, okay, let me place you on a brief hold. Go to your mom. But stuff like that. So, you know, it takes time for a relationship to build. But her and I are best friends. Yes, she still, you know, does things to get on my nerves. But that's what children do. I promise you, I make it a point to piss my dad off at certain times. It just don't feel right if I don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If my mom, God rest her soul, was alive, I made it a point to just do something to irk her nerves. And then she's like, all right, Mom, I'm leaving. That's really it. So it's gonna happen. But with the two of them, it's been a blessing this entire time. I'm not gonna lie. It started off rough. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But for them to tell me that, you know, to certain things that we talk about, lets me know that we've came a long way from certain things. Certain things they confide in me. I ride around with my daughter, the youngest one, like just yesterday, because my anniversary is coming up, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. She came to me with like 3 lists of things to do. And we were like, you know, playing hide and like we're like, my wife said, "What is that in your hand?" I was like, "Nothing," and she's like, "Nothing." And we have our little hiding things from her. It's like it's a bond. So it's dope, and it's, you know, I treat them with the same way that I treat Mason, who is actually mine. Yeah. The only difference with Mason gets his ass whooped. Mason messes up. He's a boy. He gets his ass whooped. I don't never think I can beat my girl child either. But Mason gets his ass whooped. That's the only difference between them and him. So
makes
that
sense.
You know what I mean? It's tough. A lot of people don't want to deal with that. A lot of people, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how I even began dealing with that, because all you had to tell me back in the day was a chick had a kid, and I was like, nope, thank you, but you can't help who you fall in love with, and if you fall in love with the person, you have to fall in love with everything else that they have.
Yeah, no, and I love this little girl. She's awesome. She's a lot of fun, you know what I mean? Like she loves the games, she loves the movies. She's a big nerd, and that, you know, I like that. I love the little girl to death. So, you know, it hurts when she's shitty, but it's like I'm gonna have to just keep on it. Like I take that advice. I'm gonna have to just find something that we both bond with.
Yeah, and go from there. It took. I'm telling you, man. I had all of my nails painted. I grew my hair out one time. I had her playing with my damn hair, putting braids and putting crowns. Like they're girls. What else? I mean, okay, with the whole gender thing, they could do whatever. But this is what my girly girl wanted to do. So I just had to do it. You know what I mean? My oldest is more. I think the reason why her and I butted heads a lot because we are exactly alike.
Oh yeah.
I'm super sensitive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm fucking sensitive. So is she. So certain things that happen or certain things that we do with to or with each other, we have to understand how the other person feels. Mm-hmm. So I can't go off on her for whatever because she may be angry or slam a door and I'll be ready to strangle her, but I have to understand why she's upset. I have to have that conversation.
Right.
And it works. I'm fortunate in that way.
The moral of the story in this: talk to your kids, folks.
Yeah. Communication is the key for everything. I promise you.
Yeah.
But growing up with my dad, it wasn't hard. I mean, he was just regular. He's Jamaican, hard on their kids. Mm-hmm. Clean your room, keep this tidy, do good in school, stuff like that. Any issues that me and him had are normal father-son issues, not because he was stepdad. No, that was dad, and dad was being dad, and I didn't feel like listening to dad, so certain things happen.
Yeah.
Simple. My brother's going through some of that stuff right now, and I have to reel it in with him. You know what I mean? So it when you take up that role, or not necessarily that you're replacing their dad, but you are dad.
Yeah.
You're dad.
I am a dad.
You're a dad.
She got a second dad out of the whole thing.
There you go. You know what I mean? I much respect to my daughter's dad, but you know what I'm saying. But I have to do what I have to do for my household. Yeah. And when I was saying all of them used to cry so much, I had to cut that shit out. Cause that is the most annoying thing to me. Mason was 3 months, and I you gotta stop all that crying right now, right now. It's annoying to me. So I say, hey, why are you crying? Well, what's going? Well, this. All right. Well, it still doesn't make sense why you're crying. So just stop. Nobody hit you. Nobody said anything bad. Please stop crying. Find another way to get that shit out. Mm-hmm. And we went from there. Common ground, respect on both ends, and that's how I try to push forward.
Oh, luckily, I'm not going anywhere, so I got a long time to learn this.
Do it, bro.
We'll figure it out at some point. Right. Well, that's it for episode 7, folks. Mm-hmm. We will be back next week. We will have a whole new list of topics, whole new conversation piece. Don't forget, find us not just on YouTube anymore. We are now on Google Play. We're now on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on TuneIn Radio. Mm-hmm. We're all over the place. Find us on Libsyn. Mm-hmm. We some big things are coming up soon. We're both going to be looking at other podcasts once we get things confirmed. We're going to be guesting on some things. Raul, where can people find you?
Where can people find me? Just follow us on at No Dad Jokes on Instagram, as well as at No Dad Jokes with a Z on Twitter.
Bastards.
I know. We'll get into that later. And if you can, any of our listeners, just please send your best dad jokes to nodadjokes@gmail.com. We definitely want to hear them. We definitely want to use them.
Yeah. That's No Dad Jokes with an S on that time. Only put the Z on Twitter. Yeah. We are not those guys. Anything but Twitter's No Dad Jokes with an S. Proper spelling.
Yeah. No, and we just want to thank everybody for the support. If I'm annoying you guys with all the posts, sorry. Listen to it.
It's a learning curve, guys. We'll find a happy medium at some point.
At some point, but we appreciate everything you guys are doing for us, and some big things are coming soon. We want to get into some branding, some merchandising. We're definitely going to be featured on some other podcasts, and also start bringing some guests on soon. So thank you, and thank you for your patience with us. Yeah, no, we appreciate everything you guys have done, everything we've done so far is to make this more interesting and more entertaining for you all. So if you have any suggestions, if you have anything, if you have any topics, dads out there, if you're struggling with anything, send us an email, send us a message, let us know. We'll, this is something we can talk about, we can discuss, and we can kind of put it out in group conversation. And with this idea of this was to be a resource for other dads, and talk about entertainment at the same time. So, yeah. Hey, and listen, dads, moms, parents, period. Everybody, come on through with the messages. Email, Facebook, Twitter. We look at everything. We try to answer everything. So go ahead and just spam us with all your questions and comments. We're happy. We'll respond to what we can when we can. We assure you. Aside from that, you can find, like I said, like Raul said, find us on our social media. You can find me at Gregory's Comedy Club, coming up soon in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Just pay attention to the calendar. I will be there next August 10th, 11th, and 12th. So that'll be fun times. Also, find me on Living Podcarously and the Twisted 10.
We're also available on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play. And yeah, don't forget to hashtag release the S. And yeah, that's all I got. Signing off for Pops On. I'm Jay Alvarez.
I'm Raul.
And Marcel always on the soundboards. Don't forget, spoil your kids, not movies.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Pops On. Email us any questions and your best dad jokes at nodadjokes@gmail.com. For more content, please like us on Facebook at facebook.com/nodadjokes. Follow us on Instagram at nodadjokes and Twitter at nodadjokes with a Z.
Yeah, we tried to get no dad jokes within us, but apparently some thing that got out of hand wanted to take it and then not post anything for 2 years on Twitter because, hey, look at me, I'll get this now and maybe at some point I'll actually figure out how to use Twitter because it's not like I don't have anything else to do with my damn life. I'm just gonna these guys instead.
Whoa.
But
Hey, family show, man. Whoa, family.
I bet you his mother's a fucking hoe.